Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning in to the News Talk Show. Today, my topic is about baby Maleah Davis. Baby Maleah Davis, remember she was dumped on the side of the road by her stepfather. Well, actually, it was her mother's fiance, and they charged him with the tampering of the corpse, but they couldn't charge him with her murder because of the fact that it was just so much going on around the case. The mother have not been charged as of yet, but I have some inside information that I want to share with you today from someone, a source that knows the inside scoop, knows the family. So please click like, share, and subscribe, and so I can get into my commentary. The source said that the reason that baby was mistreated because of the fact that that mother, Brittany Bowens, really still was in love with the father, but he had moved on, and that she actually would abuse that baby herself. And it was so much going on around that with that baby, and she would use the baby to try to hurt the father because she really still wanted to get back with him. So that was her way of getting back to the father by letting Derion Vence take control of that baby, and they abused the child. Now, this is what I heard. Another thing I heard is that she really, really knew what was going on with that baby and Derion Vence, and even she had actually whipped that baby and stuff before. And the father was just so fed up with it. He was just so outdone with everything until that day when he went over there and the baby, he didn't pick the baby up, because I was like, well, why didn't he pick that baby up that day when he went over there? And she said it's because he pretty much threw his hands up because it had been just so much stuff, and he's more of a low-key, quiet person to keep trouble down. He just didn't do it. Now, I know I would have kicked the door down for my baby, and you probably would too, but everybody's different. He just a mild-mannered person. The source said that he didn't even want to be in the limelight about it or anything. He was so hurt and distraught that she actually took it to that extent. So he knew that she had been taking it to some extent, but to actually take it to that extent to where it would cause the murder of Maleah Davis, the baby, 5-year-old Maleah Davis. Another thing the source said is that Derion Vence, actually, she was not as in love with him as she was that baby's father. And she and Derion Vence possibly know what's going on, and eventually she may be charged too, because Derion Vence is going to eventually probably open up the can of worms. The reason he hasn't yet, because they both knew what was going on, and he's been trying to save her face. That's what actually was really going on. And that the mother was just jealous of the baby. The source said she didn't like the baby. She really, really didn't. She didn't really like that little girl. And the reason she didn't like the little girl, because the little girl and her daddy, the little girl loved her father. As you could see how her father had posted all those pictures and stuff, that little girl loved her father. So Brittany Bowens was allegedly jealous of that situation. And she knew what happened to that baby. Another thing the source said was that timeline was often that the father had actually died a week prior to the death of Maleah Davis. Now, on that particular case, it kind of threw me off a little bit, and the reason why is because of the fact that it threw me off, and the reason why it threw me off, because I feel that the private detectives, DEA, all of the police officers and the investigators would have put that timeline together by now, and Brittany Bowens would be in jail sitting next with Derion Vence. The reason Brittany Bowens have not been charged is because of the fact they have not found solid evidence to link her to the actual murder. However, as the source said, she know what was going on because she has actually been abusing the little girl herself, whipping her and everything herself. And the father was aware of that. He was angry about that. Nothing was being done. So he threw his hands up and he just let them pretty much have her. And he would get her whenever they would allow him to, because of his demeanor, of him being a nice, quiet person trying to keep trouble down, even though he know what they were doing. That is really something. That is sad. But it's not over yet, because it could take years, just like it took 3 years. I don't know if you guys heard about that guy that was raping these 8 women in Georgia. It took 3 years for them to find him and convict him, and he had the nerve enough to go and apply to be a police officer. Isn't that something? He had the nerve to go and apply to be a police officer, you guys. And he was 4 hours late on a recruit where they had a meeting, where the training. He had the nerve to be 4 hours late for a training to be a police officer. So they just let him go. You got to get out of here. We don't want you. So then when they decide to let him go, guess what? When they did the DNA, which they should have done that in the beginning, I would have. How many police officers on the force that the DNA wasn't done in the beginning, and then they end up being rapists like this nut? They found out he had raped all 8 of the women, you guys. All 8 of the women. Now, that's something. All 8 of the women. Unbelievable. All 8. All 8. So now he's charged with raping all 8 women. And he was fool enough to leave his DNA behind. So, like I was saying, the reason they didn't charge Brittany Bowens because they haven't linked any DNA or anything linked to her blood with her blood at the time of the murder. They got to find something. So they may just charge her with knowing what was going on in the household. Because you remember when she had that interview with Cornell X, and he said, Brittany Bowens told me, okay, with her standing right next to him, that Derion Vence would bathe the child without her approval, and he would abuse the child. Now, if Cornell X was lying, she should have stopped him. No, that didn't happen. No, that didn't happen. No, I didn't tell you that. Why would you say that on camera? She didn't do that, you guys. She let him say it. And she stood right there listening to him say it. That man didn't just make that up with her standing there for the world to see. So that means what he said, she knew because she stood there and let him say it on national TV. How stupid could you be if it wasn't true? To let someone sit up there and say you told them that you knew that Derion Vence was abusing your child. Just like the source told me. She knew he was abusing because she was abusing the child too. And the father knew that. So it's not over yet. And the reason Derion Vence is not saying nothing right now because they both went in together. She's not saying nothing about him. He's not saying nothing about her. Also, the source told me, this is real. What the source told me, that the mother and the family don't want to have anything to do with her because they too feel that she knew something about the murder of Maleah Davis. Oh yeah, she knew something about that murder of that baby. And the mother, remember when she first had that interview, and the mother was like, well, he was riding around the airport, and and we thought it was raining, and he was riding around the airport. And I'm like, why is this woman sitting up here taking up for this girl? If he was riding around the airport, why didn't you guys stand there and wait for him to circle around again and to get that baby from him? Why not? Why? So she was taking up for her at that point. But after that, have you guys seen? I haven't heard nothing no more. I haven't seen anything. So it seems to me that she did disappear from her after that. She probably is angry because what grandmother wouldn't be if you know something that happened to your daughter or possibly you had something to do with it and you had me standing on camera lying for you? Oh my God. I would be the same way. I would disk her too. I wouldn't even want to have nothing to do with her myself. So you know what I'm saying? So the trial is tomorrow on Monday the 16th. Derion Vence trial in Houston, Texas. So I hope they don't reset it again and keep putting it off because this stuff, we need to know what's going on. Brittany Bowens probably later will be charged with something. Like I said, it could take a year, 2 years. They're still investigating this stuff. It's not over yet. It is not over yet. And like I say, the source told me the mother and family they just don't want to have nothing else to do with her. They really don't. And I know I haven't seen the mother or anybody. Have you? Everybody just got ghosts. You don't see nothing. So this stuff online had died out for a while, but everyone's back because the trial. No one will forget that beautiful little girl that didn't deserve to die. Just like no one will forget this other little baby in Houston that the parents left her body in the closet for days. And they went to Galveston to party, living in a hotel and all of this, and left that baby's dead body in the closet. That is, what is this world coming to? And she was a beautiful little girl and looked just like, pretty like Maleah Davis. They are going to get them for sure. So my computer's acting up, you guys, but let's tune in some more. Please click like, share, and subscribe. And I wanted to bring to you what I was told about the Maleah Davis case, that Brittany Bowens knew what was going on. She was jealous of Maleah Davis because she wanted that father and he didn't want her. He had moved on with his life, and whatever Derion Vence, she didn't care what he did to the baby because the fact that was getting back at the father. That she didn't protect the baby because she didn't care. She wanted that baby to be hurt, allegedly, so that she could make the father angry because she wanted him. This is what I heard. And then also I heard that timeline was off with that father's funeral. But as I said again, that's for the investigators to do their research on that timeline, because we saw a lot of different timelines on YouTube. So all of this stuff is allegedly, except for what I heard. That was what I heard. Now, what I heard was true from what I heard with my ears from the source that knows the inside about the father, the mother and the father, and the abuse going on with the baby. And the father just pretty much giving up. He didn't want to be in the news media. He just, even after the baby passed, he pretty much knew that they abused that baby. But it was nothing he could do about it. He tried everything. And the little girl loved him. That was why you would see him in the bed with pictures with her. The little girl loved him, and he loved his daughter. So Brittany Bowens would probably let anything go on with Derion Vence, like she told Cornell. She let him bathe her without her approval. Well, he bathed her without her approval. Well, if you knew he bathed her, why would you keep letting her be around him? So that means that was lack of protection there. So eventually she'll probably get charged with something because she did make those statements. And Cornell X works very close with law enforcement, and pretty much when he brings people in, it's pretty much the truth. And the reason I'm saying it was the truth with him on that particular situation, because she was standing there with him saying what she had told him. He was saying exactly, repeating what she had told him, you guys. And she didn't stop him. So I believed him on that one. So with that, you guys, please click like, share, and subscribe. And I'm going to be coming back with more commentary. So let's tune in, and we're going to see what's going to happen with the trial. Okay, I will talk to you later. Bye.